Hi, this is Bobby Warren of the Gatehouse Boys. We got Dana Starcher on the camera, and we are with sports editor extraordinaire Mike Plant. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I'm an honorary Gatehouse boy for the day, huh?
As long as you're working for them, you are. Hey, we got the draft coming up tonight. Cleveland Browns have the number 1 pick and number 12 as it stands right now.
Right.
You know, they might want to make a trade for that New England Patriots standout Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know, but what would you like to see the Browns do with the number 1 pick and the number 12 pick?
Well, Bobby, they get 15 minutes to make their pick, I think, and that's about 14 minutes and 50 seconds longer than it should take to write down Myles Garrett, put it on the card, take it up to front, and pick the best player in the draft who can make an immediate impact for a team that, you know, honestly doesn't have a whole lot of quality NFL talent on the roster right now.
Well, you got that kid out of New England, Jamie Collins. Seems like he's got a promising future, but that's neither here nor there. What about Warren Sapp saying that Myles Garrett takes plays off? He's only there for the pass. He's only going to get you, maybe he's going to be an impact player on 3 or 4 plays a game. What do you say?
Well, you know, a guy I remember, this is dating me, 25 years ago, Bruce Smith was coming out in the draft. If you look at this kid, Garrett, he's got a lot of Bruce Smith in it, built kind of tall, rangy. So, you know, 3 or 4 plays a game, you don't know how those are going to impact the game. So I think, you know, obviously everyone has their opinion, and Warren Sapp's a Hall of Fame lineman. I don't know how good of a film critic he is or to be able to judge a kid like that, but I think if you go over the whole body of opinion on Garrett, he's a consensus number 1 pick in the draft. So we've seen too many times the Browns have gotten a little bit too smart for their own good and bypass the obvious pick to try to parlay it into more players or something of that nature. And I think they need to quit doing that and just take the best possible player. And I think it's clearly Myles Garrett.
Now, what kind of system did he play in college? You know, I'm a hard news guy, not a sports guy like you.
Yeah, you know, I only watched him play once or twice, and I saw him play against Alabama, and he was out on an island against Robinson. I can't think of his first. Cam Robinson, I think, is the offensive tackle, who's also in this draft. And I kept my eye. I watched Garrett the whole time because the talk even back in October was, you know, this is the kid here. And to be honest with you, I wasn't that impressed. But you're not that impressed by a defensive end unless, you know, you've got to watch his body of work. You can't just watch one game, really, because obviously Alabama was running away from him. There weren't many plays on his side to play the run, and he didn't get to the quarterback. He was battling some ankle injuries at the time, so it's kind of hard to tell from one game. But I didn't see him a whole lot in college. I've seen film. Everybody's seen the film of him, and you know, he's 6'5", 290, and runs a 4.6 40. Athletically, he passes the eyeball test.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know till you're out there on Sunday, I guess.
One of the things that's been cropping up lately is this idea of using the number 1 pick for, is it Mitch Trubisky, the quarterback at number 1.
Yeah.
And what surprises me is that the scouts who do this for a living, they don't project any of the quarterbacks in this class as being legitimate first-round picks.
All right.
They give them second-round grades, third-round grades. So if you're contemplating taking a second-rounder at number 1, I mean, are you just reaching or what?
Yeah, I think that's how desperate teams are for a quarterback, and we've seen it time and again in Cleveland. I mean, Brady Quinn, Johnny Manziel, Brandon Weeden, reaching for a quarterback. They've recycled through so many that, you know, it smacks of desperation when you do that. So I think that Trubisky, you know, I'd like to see Marcus Williams, how good he is. Who's that? He's the guy that Mitch Trubisky couldn't beat out for 3 years at North Carolina. So you got to, and I don't think he's in the NFL. So
Yeah.
I think the quarterback is a unique position. If If you don't have one, you're looking for one. And we all know that the Browns, it's in Groundhog Day, not draft day. They keep repeating the same thing over and over, trying to find one. And I'm not quite sure he's in this draft.
Now, with the number 12 pick, what would you like to see happen? You want to see him
Best player.
best player?
Best player. You've got to, too many times, they bypass Khalil Mack to try to get fancy and add a couple more players that nobody's made an impact. I think that this draft particularly, and I've said this about the Browns 3 or 4 times in the last 6 years, that this could be the draft that turns it all around. And finally, they're at the point now, they've stockpiled their picks. It's time to start using them on players that will, yes, they need a quarterback, but they need impact players right away. And, last year's draft class, the first year with these guys, Sashi Brown and Dee Podesta, the baseball guy, and Hugh Jackson, it's not overwhelming results so far. Now, I realize you don't judge a rookie after his first year, but
Right.
like the great John Cooper used to say, he wasn't much of a coach, but he had some good sayings. He said, if a dog will bite you, he'll bite you as a pup. So I didn't see that last year from the first draft class from this new regime in Cleveland. So I think it's time to, you don't have to show us you're Harvard educated. Pick the best player. If it's Jonathan Allen somehow falls to him and they get the 2 best defensive linemen in the draft, so be it. Then the Browns will have at least one solid NFL unit.
So you don't want to see him move up from 12?
I don't think there's anyone to move up for.
No.
If Trubisky was there at 12, if they like him enough, maybe. But Cleveland's one of these franchises, they can't afford any more first-round misses, that's for sure.
Yeah. Any chance they come up from 33, get a 3rd first-round pick?
Well, then they'd be into probably spending some of their picks they've acquired. I know they have 3 second-round picks next year. They see somebody they like, yeah, possibly. But I think the only quarterback I'd be interested in this draft, if they walked away from him, would be Jimmy Garoppolo from New England. But then again, I'm always wary about dealing with Bill Belichick, because the thing is, if Belichick wants to get rid of you, you always think he's got some kind of backroom thing going on. There's something wrong with him. Just like Jamie Collins. They trade him to the Browns. Immediately he's some kind of damaged goods because Belichick didn't want him.
Hey, Patriots fans like myself, we wanted him. We wanted Chandler Jones. We want Vince Wilfork back if he just signs to retire.
I don't think they can afford him. Might have been what
Yeah.
drove that deal, the money. But
All right, so what can we expect in the Daily Record for the draft coverage?
well, we've got with our expanded coverage in Gatehouse, we have the Canton Repository Steve Dorshuk, who is really in tune with the Browns. He's been embedded in their draft plans for weeks now. We'll have a report from Steve and have all the photos. And the first round is an interminably long process. Everybody takes their whole 15 minutes, so
Just like
hopefully, hopefully we'll have all the first round coverage in tomorrow's paper. We plan on it.
All right, want to thank Mike Plant, our honorary junior Gatehouse Boy of the Day. He's working for you. This
Always.
is Bobby Warren on behalf of Dan Starcher and the Gatehouse Boys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.